Tuesday to everybody. Good off week for us. Gets a couple things done. I mentioned this last night on the radio show, but it allows us, one, to get some of our guys that have been really playing through injuries and bumps and bruises, to give them a little bit of health. It allows us to get some guys that are right on the edge of coming back and helping us. Malik McLean, Elijah Winston, Jordan Isefa, just one step closer and get them going. It allows us to advance some young people that are right on the cusp for having to go in there and play one play away. Gets us a little bit ahead for Notre Dame, to be honest with you. We started installing some of the base game plan today for Notre Dame, and it allows us on a Friday. We'll have 2 padded practices tomorrow and the next day, and then Friday our kids will do a strength and conditioning circuit, and then we'll have the opportunity to go out and recruit. So I know injury wise you want to know where everybody's at. The quarterback situation is Keenan's allowed right now to cleared to practice without contact. He's not cleared for contact yet, but it's good to get him back out here, get him throwing, and get him exerted, which is good. We'll go through the week, allowing both quarterbacks to be able to get better and exceed, and we'll see, where we are medically going into next week. I'll be able to let you know, hopefully by next Tuesday, where we stand on that, if not sooner. Talanoa is the same way. He's allowed to practice without contact. Elijah Griffin felt good today, practiced. I would expect him to be back for the next game. So hopefully this is a week that allows us to catch up health-wise and get a healthier ball club going into South Bend. With that, I'll take any questions that you got. Yeah, there's some guys that, like I said, have been really playing through some hurts and pains, and Ra has been playing with a not only a foot but a shoulder and fighting through it. Christian Rector has been playing with that high ankle sprain and really fighting through it. Vavai, we saw the knee a couple weeks ago and has really really been fighting through that. So to be able to shut them down just for a couple days and allow them to catch back up and allow those things to heal is really important. You saw the guys that just have bumps and bruises out here are still practicing. They'll go through the week, but the guys that have significant things that we need to get a handle on, we're allowing this week.
Liam Jennings got in there Saturday. Was there an injury to Jalen, or was it just an opportunity for Liam?
No, it was an opportunity for Liam. He's really been putting in great work out here. He got 10 snaps in the game. The big run that Stephen Carr had was really him. He ate up the 4-eye technique and did a tremendous job. And it gives. I'm really happy for him for making the conversion from D-line to offensive line. That progression, trust in the process, and really put himself in a position where we felt, man, this guy can get in there and give us some reps at that guard position. Let Jalen catch his breath for a second, or if we were to have an injury at one of the tackles, Jalen would have to go out there. So it allows him to get in a game, feel what that's like, and he had 10 great snaps. So he'll continue to play. He did a nice job.
Is Voorhees still out indefinitely?
Right now, he's one of the ones that we're going to evaluate through this week and see how it's going. He's got one more week of being able to rehab it. We'll test it out next week, see where it's at, and then we'll make a decision for the rest of the season based off where he's at and how he's feeling. So I'll be able to let you know for sure what the future looks like with him next Tuesday.
Which younger players do you want to get more work this week?
Some of the guys in the secondary, I think it's going to be really important to continue to advance, even though they're playing a lot of reps. But you get a Jaden Williams, a Max Williams, a Raylan Goforth, who's been those guys that have been playing special teams that are literally, one snap away from having to go in and being the guy. So it's going to help us, I think, a bunch defensively with that young secondary and some young linebacking core that is literally a snap away from having to go in there and be a major contributor. I think it's also going to help the young wideouts like a Drake London and a Munir McLean, a John Jackson that are literally one step away, from going into a Jude Wolf, who's now his contribution is going to have to go up with Josh suffering an MCL sprain, so he's going to have to be ready for Notre Dame. So those guys that are right on the cusp, this is a really important week for them.
Marquis Step was committed to Notre Dame, decommitted. What do you recall from his recruitment and that moment when he kind of became back on the market, so to speak?
Yeah, I just felt like we were really fortunate to get a guy of that caliber and just a first-class person that I thought handled his recruiting the right way and, came out here, had a very genuine interest and love for this place and went through the process and thought it out and said, this is the best fit for me. and sometimes going a little bit of ways from home is the best fit. And proud of what he's doing. Wow, what another good game that he's had. So proud of where he's at as a redshirt freshman. He's got a bright future.
Were you guys looking at him when he was still committed to them, or did it really start after?
Well, we had a relationship with him. Usually these kids, you know how recruiting is. You know them since 9th, 10th grade. And so you get to know them, and then you hope you draw enough interest that they'll come out, make an official visit, and like it. And in his case, he did. He loved it. And credit to his parents. I thank his parents every time I see him for letting him come from Indianapolis, Indiana, all the way out to Los Angeles, California, and the trust to allow their baby to come out here and us to adopt him and watch over him and grow him into a man.
I know you talked a little bit about the Fair Pay to Play Act in the past. Do you feel like, just what you know about the law in California currently, do you feel like that would affect a coach's job significantly, especially when you're talking about maybe the recruiting trail or getting recruits?
And I said this last night. I think it's really too early to tell where this thing's going to go. When you're talking about 2023, it is a topic of discussion right now. It's an important topic of discussion. Obviously, it's a national topic, our state and our governor and our legislature made a full speed decision, and now between the state legislation, between the NCAA, between universities, we got 4 years to figure out where it goes to from here. And as coaches do, rules change and things change. And for a coach, what's your job is your job to adapt. And in my 25 years, a lot of stuff has changed. It continues to. And so that's part of being a coach, is adapting with the changing culture, the changing rules, the changing environment, and this will be one of those. But I have great trust in our state legislature, as well as the NCAA, as well as the universities, that they'll come up. And this isn't just the only state. There's going to be multiple. I heard Florida is already trying to get one passed. And so it'll be a national topic, and over a course of time, it'll get figured out what's best for both sides.
Have you made any
Florida's
certain...
looking at 2020. They may be speeding things up.
Yeah. I'm in California, so
Okay.
even though my home state is Florida.
I know.
Have you made any certain redshirt decisions at this point now?
We're going through in this off week and evaluating kids this week. Some kids have already passed the 4 games, that we're committed to, playing for the rest of the year. Some guys are sitting at 2, 3, 4 games, and still having a game available to do. But when we hit that 4-game mark, we sit down with guys and be able to say, okay, here's where we are. Here's where we are. You're making significant contribution. I have a huge database sheet that I get at each Monday that has the players' total number of plays for the season, for each game, offense, defense, special teams, and I look at their contribution and what they're doing. And once we commit to a kid that it's his opportunity to play the whole season, then we're trying to garner enough reps for it to be a quality season where they can get, hopefully 100 plays or more on tape, whether that's offense, defense, and special teams.
Like with Keaton and Matt Fink now both having road starts under the belt, how helpful would that be if there is any uncertainty going into next week about Keaton's status?
Well, I think, and I'm so happy for both because they've gotten experience, and that's what makes a quarterback. And it's not only the success, it's the failures too that you end up learning from. And both of them have had success and failure, and they've grown from it. And I'm happy for both of them that they got the opportunity. I've told them both that learn from each experience, and they will. And being on the road, they've learned is hard. There's a level of decision making and discipline that it's even harder when you're not in the friendly confines of the Coliseum. So for both of them to get that experience, wow, that's awesome. It raises their stock as players and helps them grow as quarterbacks. All righty, guys.